What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of Ade Gman. Slightly different. We're not doing our usual podcast style video today. What we are doing is looking back on what's been an incredible 2 years of Riyadh season. I can't believe it's only been 2 years, but it was the 28th of October, 2023. Battle of the Baddest, Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. And look what's happened since. So we're going to try and get into what's happened since. And it ain't easy because so much has happened since.
Honest question. When you were there at NGANNOU Fury and we heard about, because we heard rumours about this big extravaganza card for a long time, did you really think we'd get the level over the next 2 years of the cards we've had?
Oh, no.
Do you think that was a one-off? That was just a one-time, it's one and done?
I thought it was one and done. I thought it was one. Let me tell you a quick story about that. This is funny. Well, not funny, but I do believe, I'm going to take all the props for aligning DAZN and Riyadh season. It's all on me. Really? I don't care. It's all on me. Reason being, this is it. So this happened. So that Fury Ngannou fight got announced. It wasn't on DAZN. Was it on DAZN? No. It wasn't on DAZN.
TNT, wasn't it?
It was TNT. So I must have reached out to DAZN. At the time, obviously, I'd been at DAZN for a couple of years. So I wasn't what I am now, but I still had a bit of voice. I could say something. So I reached out to DAZN. I was like, look, what are we doing? Like, we've got to do something. I mean, this is Tyson Fury. Like, whether or not we're covering it, like, we've got to kind of cover things around it. And they're like, Ade, no. And I was like, what? I said, look, please just send me over and I will do like behind the scenes, cover the press conference. And they're like, all right, we'll have a look at it. And then they're like, okay, we're going to send you over with one cameraman and Barry Jones and you guys do some hits on ground. That's all it was supposed to be.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, good. And so I spoke to Barry. I said, Barry, would you do it with me? And he's like, yeah, of course. Let's get out there and we'll do some stuff. And then it started to get bigger. So we're out. So by the way, we have gone out there with the idea of we're not covering the event, by the way. We're just covering presser. Because again, it's a TNT event. It isn't on DAZN. We're just covering presser, media workout and all that stuff. So we get out there the first day and I do that. I'm just covering. They're sending me around, doing little bits. And then, I don't know what happens, but they're like, okay, Ade, we need to speak to you. And I'm like, okay, what was it? We're going to cover the event. Like, we're going to cover the event because it's got quite big. And we've now got the international rights. But bear in mind, we don't have a team out there. So they said it's going to be, we've got a cameraman. So it's going to be you and Barry. And we roped in, and you have to do it, Mike Tyson's son, Amir Tyson. So I'm like, what? So in the end, we cover it based off me saying I'm going out there. And it's true. And then what happened, I don't think people remember this, TNT's feed went down.
Yes, I do remember that. Yes.
TNT's feed went down.
I do remember
So the only feed was DAZN. And that's how DAZN and Turkey became like this, because ultimately we were the only ones that were consistently and constantly showing the fight because TNT's feed went down. So, damn, it's all on me.
Like, I never knew that.
Yeah, that's fact.
Damn.
Yeah,
and then
fact.
Who would have thought then? And remember, it was Dev who was hosting the next press conference, but DAZN were doing the show.
DAZN then started doing all the shows, and obviously, it was obviously DAZN, Sky, and TNT, but DAZN had the international rights for all of them pretty much. So DAZN was showing them all, but I at the time, it's funny because on ground, I have to admit, flying out there for Battle of the Baddest, I knew it was big because I know my MMA. So I know Francis Ngannou in the MMA world, and he's massive. I don't know if DAZN really knew too much about Ngannou, whereas I'm like, dude, Ngannou is enormous in that world. So it's literally the two biggest worlds colliding. But when I got there, I thought, my God, this is way bigger than anything I'd ever seen in my life. Remember, they had one ring for the undercard fights.
Yeah, and they had to move it into
and then they had to move
arena.
to the arena for the main event. No one's ever done that. No one's ever done that before. No, it's not been done since.
And didn't they make the ring pop out from underground?
The ring came out from underground.
Like, it did have WrestleMania feels to it.
Yeah.
It had that WrestleMania vibe to it. I don't recall ever seeing as much attention on, like, until maybe Joshua fights Fury, just on one particular card. And even though people were saying, I was saying it, I'd rather see him fight, the hype was real.
Dude, it was incredible.
It was real.
And also, let's not forget, the undercard was Wardley versus Adelaide. Carlos Takam was on that card versus Martin McCauley.
Joe Parker fought Simon Keane.
The Canadian guy, yeah.
Simon Keane.
Like, it wasn't a scrum card.
Well,
there was another one. There was something else that was pretty big on that card.
Was it...
what was chief support?
Adelaide Wardley.
Was that Chief
That was
Support?
Chief Support. There was definitely another heavyweight card on there because it was all heavyweights.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm thinking maybe it was either Frank Sanchez or Makhmadov or someone like that. There was another heavyweight definitely on that card, but it was all, and that was the thing. All the fights ended like that.
Yeah.
So that was the one bad thing. It meant that there was a massive gap between co-main to main.
Yeah, I think everyone was still working out what to do. I'm not trying to say, like, you know, we didn't have experienced people on the ground, but that was the first one. And there was musical acts. And there was like a massive musical act before Tyson Fury and Ngannou. So I think people were still thinking, okay, what works here? You know, let's chuck things at the wall and see if it sticks. But I just remember it being, I remember, because the position we had, we weren't ringside because, I don't know why, but I think no one was ringside. Everyone was kind of in the stands. Like our camera position was in the stands. But I remember looking down and you just saw literally superstar after superstar. And that was quite rare. Like, it was the first time, for example, seeing Ronaldo there. Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh my God, everyone's here.
Wasn't Vince McMahon and The Undertaker there?
The Undertaker was there.
The Undertaker was there.
The Undertaker was certainly there. I don't know about Vince McMahon, but The Undertaker was certainly there. All the UFC people were there because they did that thing. Do you remember, like, the UFC people did a thing where Ngannou's walking out. I don't know if you remember this, and they made kind of almost like a line for him to walk past every single UFC superstar, the veterans. And he's walking past. I was like, oh my God, this is as good as it gets. Yeah, as good as it gets. It was just sensational. And then, weirdly enough, you're doing all that, all the build-up, you're thinking, okay, Fury's just going to smash him. That was what everyone was thinking.
That's what we all were thinking.
And after the first round, I was like, right, Ngannou can box a little bit here. This could
when
be
he dropped
tasty.
Because you obviously weren't watching, you were watching it live there, but when Ngannou did drop Fury, I'd say you lost it.
I
can imagine you.
I remember, and sorry, Barry, but I remember, obviously, Barry, Mr. Boxing guy, right? He was like, yeah, like Fury's going to destroy Ngannou. And after the first couple of rounds, I was like, dude, I don't know, you know. And he was like, no, he'll work it out, trust me. I think it got to round 8. And even Barry was like, the fuck is going on here? Like, this is not supposed to happen. But I think the way in which that result played out is what then birthed Riyadh season.
Yeah.
Because if Fury just destroyed him, I think everyone would have said, oh, it was a gimmicky thing. Like, okay, let's move on. Let's get to real boxing.
If it had been Joshua Ngannou first, that could have been
done.
Dead in the water.
Yeah, dead in the water. But then I think everyone was like, okay, who is this guy, Turki El Sheikh? And no one could pronounce his name.
Yeah, no.
Everyone was all over the place with it. Like, no one even knew his title, because I remember I had to read out his title when he was on camera. I was like, His Excellence, like, what am I reading? I knew nothing of this guy. And they kept saying, so everyone butchered it. But then it was almost a case of, okay, this guy, and still, even after that, I didn't think he was going to take over boxing the way he did. But remember looking at that event and having done a couple of big events for DAZN before then, thinking, this is bigger than anything I've ever seen, like ever watched on TV or ever been to. And that's when I was thinking, something is happening here.
And bear in mind, you'd been to Saudi shows before that.
I've been to AJ Usyk.
AJ Usyk, yeah.
AJ
worked
Usyk
on
too.
that show.
AJ Usyk too, which was with almost another fraction in Saudi Arabia. And I think Eddie aligned to that fraction, assuming they were going to take over.
Challenge, wasn't it?
Yes. Whereas Frank aligned to Turkey. So obviously Frank backed the right horse. And that was it. It was insane.
And since then, we have seen, honestly, some of the most unforgettable cards with some of the most unforgettable fights you'd ever want to see. Unforgettable trailers, fighters that you would never think would be, you know, fighting these back-to-back massive fights, selling out stadiums. It's actually, sport was in a good place before Turkey. Now we are just, I mean, it's just gone from strength to strength.
Question then. Let's get into this. How much do you think he has changed boxing? I say he, Riyadh season, not just Turkey specifically, but Riyadh season, Saudi Arabia. How much do you think it's changed boxing?
Absolutely, massively.
Okay.
I always go back to, right, Turkey came 2 years ago, 2023, 2022, the year before that, right? If you had said to me, going into Fury versus Chisora 3, oh, by the way, about this time next year, right, you're going to have Frank and Eddie doing shows together. 6 months from then, you're going to have Frank and Eddie doing a Matchroom versus Queensbury 5v5. We'll get Undisputed. We'll get, you know, AJ fighting in Wembley Stadium again. We'll get Daniel Dubois fighting back-to-back fights in Wembley Stadium in the next. I'd be like, what? Like, whatever you're having, is it legal? Because I want to try it.
Yeah.
That's what I'd be saying.
Yeah. He made literally your dreams into reality. Yeah. And that might sound a bit like soppy, like a Hollywood movie, but it's true. Like, whatever you dreamt as a boxing fan, apart from Shakur, Javante, and Fury AJ,
Yes.
he's pretty much given everything you would have wanted. I want to see him versus him. Okay, 1 second. We're going to work on it. He's pretty much given you everything you would have wanted.
We still have time for those other two.
Yeah, we
do still
have.
have time for those other two. So they're just a work in progress, we'll say. But any fight that came to your mind, like I was resigned that we are never going to see Beterbiev Bivol. I was at him. I was like, look, I'd love to see it. We're not gonna. I've seen it twice.
I remember people sneering, about the whole thing, saying, "Dude, it's going to last 6 months."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're going to run out of cash, or they're going to stop. Never run out of cash, but they're going to stop spending. They're going to realize there's nothing in it. There's going to be no interest. It's a bit gimmicky. I'm telling you, 6 months. Like, enjoy it while you can. Because I was starting to really get excited about going to Saudi and seeing these events, or even the ones in America over here. And they're like, Ade, just enjoy it because it's going to be done soon. Dude, I think we've had, like, Riyadh associated with Ring. Mm-hmm. I think we probably had 20 cards. Like, if we think of the Ring ones and Riyadh season, I'm thinking I've probably been to Saudi
a lot.
I want to say about 12 times. I've been to the point where I know my flat. I might as well leave my clothes there.
It's routine now. I'll be back in a few weeks.
We've done 3 or 4 in America. We've probably done 3, maybe 5 over here.
Yeah, I'd 5 over 20.
Here. So I think it's about 20 that is never in my life that I think would get to 20.
And all of them have been just mega.
Yeah.
Like, there's not been one where some of them, like the main event, you're just like, yeah. And then the undercards, some of the undercards have just been undercards that, if you had said, like, best example I'll give, right? Boazzi versus Callum Smith. If you had said to someone, right, you're going to see that, where do you think you're going to see it? Main event or main event easily, co-main at the worst. It's opening the show. That's opening the show.
Yeah.
No,
it has been just and look, there will be some that are like, and I understand what people are saying when they say, okay, but with those big events going to Saudi, and for example, it's perfect what you just mentioned, Smith Boazzi could do O2 Arena here.
Oh yeah, easy.
And there'll be people like, oh, but you've taken it away from what could have been a really good main event over here, and I get that, but ultimately, and I would say this to those people, we're getting the fights.
Yeah,
that's what it is, and I think there are 2 boxing fans. They're the ones that religiously go to boxing events, so I get what they're saying. But if you're the ones that watch it at home, which is the majority, what does it matter?
Yeah,
if you're watching it at home, does it matter if it's in the UK, if it's in Saudi? I used to wait up till 5 a.m. to watch the big events in America.
Same as me.
I used to wait up.
And my counter argument would be, well, you say, you got a point. You say like, oh, well, it's going to take that fight, which is an O2 headline act, and it's going to take it away from there. But like, how do you know without the Saudis being involved, without that being in Saudi, we'd even get that to begin with?
Good shout.
How do you know that? Oh, we'd love to see Callum Smith versus Joshua Boazzi, but because of X, Y, Z, all these factors, you'll see Callum Smith versus whoever, and you'll see Boazzi versus whoever. Maybe on a big event, maybe on a big pay-per-view in the UK, we'll see it. It's like, no, we're seeing them now in Saudi, opening up the card, no issues, boom, it's done.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, because for 7 years, we've asked for Boazzi Yard.
Yeah.
And never happened. And some would have said, oh, O2, it's never happened.
Yeah, it's never happened.
Regardless. And all of a sudden, Callum Smith comes along, bang, bang, he fights Boazzi, and it's done just like that. Just like that. And now, by the way, there is more likely we get Boazzi Yard. Like, there's now a real chance because of the money involved in Saudi. What's been your best event? And that's almost okay. Let's narrow it down to top 3, because I think
that's still
difficult.
One.
But best out of 20 is almost impossible. Top 3.
Do you know what? There's some. It's not. This is the hardest part, because you could say, "Oh, I love this card, but only for this fight." Every card has more than one thing that you love it for, more than one reason. I have to say it because I just...
Are you going 1, 2, 3 here or 3, 2, 1?
I'm going 1, 2, 3.
So you're going...
No, we'll go 3, 2, 1. We'll go
3, 2, 1.
So in at number 3, I had to actually think about it, but it really does have to be the Day of Reckoning.
What was that?
That was the second show they did, December 2023. That was where Joshua fought out of Lynn.
Okay. Oh, okay, because that's... What the undercard? Parker Wilder. I think that was Makhmudov versus Kawael. Is that the card?
That was the card. Jeez. You had Frank Sanchez, Dubois versus Miller.
Jeez. Okay.
And do you know why that was special? Because the Fury and Ngannou card was really good, but some of the fights on the undercard, they're all heavyweight, but you kind of knew who was going to win, with the exception of maybe Wardley. I remember when they were announcing this, Simon Jordan broke the news, and everyone was like, Simon, shut up. You're talking out your you-know-what, because you're never going to get a card like this. And then they all were all the fighters like Wilder, Joshua, they were all teasing pictures on the Sunday. We're all in London. Why are we all in London? And we were just like, oh my God, they're all on stage. They're all there. And Miller going at Joshua at the press conference, everything. Yeah. That was special. So that's in at number 3 for me.
That's a great shout.
Number 2 has to be Ring of Fire, Fury versus Usyk 1.
Ooh.
And I remember you.
This is so interesting. I'm going to stop you now. I am so intrigued as to what number 1 is now, because that's a number 1 for a lot of people.
That's that number 1 for a lot of people.
Sorry to cut across you. Go on.
I do remember you interviewing Turkey at the 5v5.
Yeah.
I think you asked Turkey, what's the best like event so far? And even he said, Fury Usyk was special. Because it was a special event. But for me, Beterbiev Bivol 2, the last crescendo, number 1.
What a card.
That's number
dude,
1.
What a card.
You
know, even Shakur Stevenson on the card, I remember it's supposed to be Floyd Schofield.
Yeah.
And this little kid, no one knew of, called Josh Padley
rocks up.
And he actually does okay for a few rounds. And the Martin Bacoli drama with Daniel Dubois, Martin Bacoli, and everyone tracking his flight. Like, where is Bacoli? Where is Bacoli? Dude, insane. You know what? That's, there's no wrong answer.
No.
Because, like, honestly, you could pick 15 of those 20 cards have been like, wow, WrestleMania type cards.
Literally, it had those feels. It had those vibes. If you ever watch WrestleMania, there's something different about it. You could not be a wrestling fan, but you'd watch that. This felt like it.
Yeah, yeah. I would say my number 3, oh, nearly went the wrong way around there. Number 3 for me is Battle of the Baddest, Fury and Ngannou.
Really?
The reason being because it was the first one.
All right.
I was so intrigued, and you almost felt like there was no expense spared. I remember going and thinking, you didn't need that, but that's incredible. Like, you didn't need a ring coming out of the floor, but I'm sold. Do you know what I mean? Like, a ring is just there. Like, why have we got a ring coming out of the floor? And I remember everyone thinking, I think at the time, everyone was like, what is this? It was almost this, like, boxing hadn't stagnated, because we still were getting some big fights, but boxing is kind of like, okay, well, this one's going to be announced and we're happy. Yeah. And then this thing came along and you're like, okay, well, we're going to Saudi? Okay. Where Riyadh? Like, you know, it was all new to people. So I think Battle of the Baddest, because it kickstarted this revolution, if you like. Ring of Fire.
Of course.
Just because I remember, dude, yeah. I just remember I was next to Chris Mannix. And even now I'm getting excited about it. I remember when the referee called them to the center of the ring. And I remember thinking, oh my God, it's going to happen. Yeah. Because,
we were all like
remember we had the cut. Yeah. I think people forget it was postponed because of the cut. I think people forget all about
February
that.
10th was the original date.
This is it. So I remember thinking, oh, it's never going to happen. And then there's all people saying, I don't believe it's going to happen until Fury's in the ring. Remember, there's all that kind of talk. So when we saw them in the ring, I was like, holy shit.
Do you remember all the build-up fight week? John Fury,
the headbutt. And for me to be like there, like to all that, and then that 9th round where Fury's all up, I remember thinking this is the greatest thing I've ever, like, this is just insane.
Did his own commentary where you've Todd Grisham and everyone on commentary, and all they're doing is screaming. Like, they stopped being commentators, they became fans.
Yeah. And exactly. Everyone just turned into a fan, and everyone was like, this is the greatest thing. Number 1's a random rogue choice, yeah. It's that Ring magazine card in Queens.
You love that. You always speak so highly of that one.
I think
that was a great one.
You know, I don't know how it's happened, but I might be Hamza Shiraz's biggest fan. I've no idea when. I can't even tell you when it started. But being around him, this dude looks like he could model for Armani.
He does.
Like, you sit next to him, and boxers look and dress a certain way. And it's almost a bit like the way Conor McGregor landed in the UFC, and he was wearing suits, and everyone then started wearing suits. Hamza just sort of just controls himself. And I remember thinking, dude, you're going into Queens, New York, dude. You're fighting Edgar Berlanga in his backyard, and Edgar Berlanga walks out with Fat Joe and Remy Ma. And I'm thinking, oh, fuck, Hamza's done here, bro. Because by the way, Queens is in the hood. Yeah. We're in the hood, by the way. It might have not looked like the hood, but I'm telling you it's the hood. But it wasn't just that. So it had Hamza Edgar, Shakur versus Zepeda.
Great fight.
Puello versus Abreu Matias. And it had David Morrell versus Kataev. I remember thinking, this is a fantastic 4-fight card. Like,
it was great.
And all the fights kind of delivered, was expecting something. And I think for Hamza to kind of make that statement, and I know the way some Americans look at Brits when we come over, like, they're soft.
They were looking at Hamza like that.
Yeah, like, he's soft. I remember Edgar did an interview on Breakfast Club, and it's like, yo, these muffins. And I'm like, Hamza, please knock this guy the fuck out, please. So when he delivered, I remember, and by the way, I'm supposed to be impartial. I remember screaming ringside and then turning around and seeing if anyone looked at me. So for me, and I'm probably wrong, but that card holds a special place in my heart because I remember just thinking, and it was in a tennis stadium. It's something a bit different.
It
I
was
remember
different.
thinking,
It wasn't
really
your standard, arena.
Yeah, it was 8,000. You don't need a 90,000 sometimes. It was 8,000, but 80,000 noisy fans who were entertained from beginning to end. It wasn't no concert. Like, a lot of these have had the kind of stop. Like the Eminem one, Oasis one. I'm like, I don't need this.
No, we don't.
Like Busta Rhymes did one in Riyadh. I'm like, no, I just want boxing. And I thought this was incredible. I thought it was incredible.
You mentioned Hamza Sheeraz there, right? Just think of the fighters who have been on these shows I genuinely believe became stars because of Riyadh season.
Okay, go on then. Whose stock has gone up the most because of Riyadh season? Who entered it needing a bump, if you like, and got the bump from Riyadh season?
Now, that's a tricky one because I'd love to say Hamza because I seen him fight Liam Williams at the Copper Box, which was half empty. So now being arguably a household name. But Daniel Dubois has done back-to-back Wembley Stadiums. Yeah. Daniel Dubois literally was put on a Riyadh show needing to win. Yeah. It was sink or swim. He swam. And he world famous.
Yeah,
Has to be.
Yeah, it has to be Daniel Dubois.
Has to be Daniel Dubois.
Like 2 of those fights on Riyadh season as well. So how many fights he had on Riyadh? 4.
He said 4. None of them easy fights.
Yeah, none of them easy fights. He's been underdog in 3. And you could argue the Jarrell Miller fight was a 50-50 nod going in because of Jarrell Miller's size.
I was favouring Miller slightly going into that one.
Same. So he's been put in against people that were favoured to knock him out. I remember that 5 versus 5. Craig Richards was supposed to beat Willie Hutchinson.
Yeah, I remember.
Hergovich was supposed to beat Dubois. Like that was a banker. Everyone's like, yeah, Hergovich is going to beat Dubois.
Yeah. I had them both down to lose.
So he's gone into there. You're right. He's gone into there off the back of losing to Alexander Usyk. So he's gone into Riyadh season off a loss.
A bad loss.
A quit loss. Everyone's like, oh, he quit. He chucked it in again. And they put him in against a guy that outweighed him by 100 pounds.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And he stopped him in the last round. And then he stopped Hergovich. And then he stopped AJ. I'm sorry. Dude, he's fucking taking the piss.
And he was going to fight Joseph Parker as well.
He's going to fight Joseph Parker.
And imagine he beating Joseph Parker then. Yikes.
Yeah, that would have been insane. So yeah, I agree. I think he's had the biggest bump. Hamza's definitely there.
Nick Ball.
Yeah, Nick Ball's stock's gone. So what's Nick Ball? Ray Vargas,
5v5.
Raymond
Ray
Ford. That's it, isn't it? Because the others have been out.
He did fight on one of the...
That's a Liverpool card, wasn't it?
No, he fought TJ Henny and then he fought on another... It was on Moses Thelma's card. He defended his title against Sam Goodman.
Yeah, okay, so that's 3. Okay.
That's 3, and he's...
Yeah. I didn't think he looked good against Sam.
No, I certainly didn't.
I didn't think he looked good against Sam Goodman. That was very close, by the way.
Very
that could have
close
swung to Sam Goodman.
One judge had it real wide.
Yeah, that could have... Yeah, but no, Nick's had a good rise as well. Hamza's had a good rise, especially considering that I thought Hamza lost to Carlos Adames.
Oh, so did I as well.
So he needed that. So what's Hamza's at? Hamza's at Tyler Denny,
Carlos Adames,
and Edgar
Berlanga.
Yeah.
There was one more fight in between, wasn't there? No?
For Hamza? Can't think of one. No. Yes, Amma Williams. 5 versus...
Yes, of course. He was captain.
He was captain. Yeah, well, he's done all right out of it,
He has done very well.
Amma Williams stoppage, Tyler Denny stoppage, Edgar Berlanga stoppage, and a draw against Carlos Adames.
That's pretty good going.
That's pretty good going.
That's pretty good going.
Obviously, the big boys have had like incredible runs, like Usyk becoming double undisputed.
Yeah, Usyk goes.
Dude, double undisputed, and then like Daniel Dubois.
Usyk, Dubois, Nick Ball to a lesser extent, but definitely Hamza Sheeraz as well.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think who else. I mean, like, you could say maybe Beterbiev, Bivol, but they've already been. Terence Crawford, definitely.
Yeah. No, you know what? Like, random ones. Mark Chamberlain. Like, this is a random
very
one.
good point.
Dude, unless you are a boxing hipster, and everyone will try and pretend they knew Mark. No, you didn't.
It's not in a brace.
No one knew who Mark Chamberlain
he's my
was.
favourite fight. I was like,
who?
This guy?
Yeah, and I remember Eddie and Frank telling me about this, actually, because Eddie used to tell me that he went to Turkey's house, where Turkey kind of puts up all the, okay, this is what I want to do. And they saw Mark Chamberlain's name down, and both of them were like looking at each other like, what are you talking about? The fuck? And Frank had him. It was Frank's fight, but Frank was like, what are you talking about? Like, have you not seen my list of fighters? Like, Mark Chamberlain. So obviously Mark Chamberlain would have done really well out of it. So Riyadh season's kind of changed his life a little bit.
Josh Padley, definitely.
Yeah, Josh Padley definitely to get the contract. All right, the other way round. Whose stock's gone down for Riyadh season?
I'm going to say AJ. And you're going to probably Not like me saying that, but it
Why
has.
am I what? Because I'm an AJ friend fan? You can be honest with this.
I'm just going to say, right, he fights it out of a lane and then he knocks out Ngannou. Stock rises slightly. And then that face plant against Dubois just went, ba-bum.
Yeah.
Like, down. It went down. He got memed after it and everything. I think that...
I know he doesn't. We grown-ups don't care about getting memed. Like, memes for kids. We don't care about getting memed. I would agree with AJ's stock going down, just because you then look back at Ngannou and say, well, Ngannou was an MMA guy, and we saw Otto Wallin against Chisora.
Yeah.
So, and he was disgraceful. So you're right. Maybe in hindsight, those 2 wins were not as big as we thought at the time, leading up into Dubois. I would say Fury's stock's gone down as well. 2 undisputed opportunities, and you lost them both.
Lost them both, clearly.
And you maybe drew a loss with Ngannou.
I mean, if you think about it like that, yeah, that's a good point. That's crazy. Fury hasn't, like...
Fury's not...
a clean win, we'll call it, in, 3 years since he fought Chisora?
Well,
a clean, no disputing it win.
Yeah, and he's probably... You know what's crazy about that? He's probably made more money out of Riyadh season than anybody.
Oh, except Usyk. No, maybe Usyk.
And there's no way on this earth that Usyk has made the money Fury's made. Impossible.
Really?
Tyson Fury, no way. So you're thinking Dubois, Fury for Usyk is bigger than Ngannou, Usyk. No.
I'm just thinking because I thought Usyk got the lion's share for the second fight.
No chance. No chance. Tyson Fury is so like the A side in that discussion and battle. It's insane. Like when you even go to Riyadh, like no one has brought more fans to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia than Fury. It actually shocks me because I thought AJ might do numbers. The amount of fight fans that come over Fury fights are just, it's actually insane. Like people genuinely, and when you think about his following, the way in which it's grown over the years, it needs to be studied.
Yeah, that's actually
Yeah, because AJ already had that acclaim coming out of the Olympics.
Everything. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, you know, AJ, he had the losses and all, but then Fury had his ban. And once Fury came back, it was just like through the roof. And he'll still do great numbers when he comes back, as we think we all know. But just to finish off on, you were saying whose stock has dropped, right? Without question, he's probably even bigger than Joshua. The biggest droppage in stock, Martin Bakoli. All his
How
last
big was his stock in the first place?
Stops Carlos Takam handily. Yeah. No one does that to Carlos Takam. Yeah. No one does that. And he only beaten Tony Oka a few fights prior. Stops Jared Anderson. I was guilty of it. Man, he could be the boogeyman. Knocked out by Joseph Parker. Then has a camp for FA Jagba. Very limited fighter in a Jagba. He lost that fight. It's a draw. He lost. And now people are just kind of like, Bakoli, yeah.
No, they're not doing that. Stop it. They're not doing that. No. I mean, you're doing that. I genuinely don't think people are doing Bakoli because I think people know that. Well, you know, the indicator would be let's see who mows the town with fights in December. Because if Bakoli's like that, then chuck him in with Bakoli. I think people still think Bakoli. I think the problem for Bakoli is this and this.
Yeah, but okay, I won't.
I don't think it's these.
I won't have a go at him with Parker because obviously big money, short notice, all that.
Short notice, 1 day's notice.
1 day's notice.
1 day's notice.
He arrived on the day of the fight.
Yeah.
But then 3 months later you have a fight and you lose, 10 pounds?
Yeah.
And you still, come on.
Yeah, he's clearly got weight issues. And I'm not even going to try and defend him. I tried to. And then I saw his weight against FA Jagba and I was clearly off the Martin Bakoli hype train. You know what's interesting? We've mentioned a lot of fighters that have kind of done well out of Riyadh season. Apart from Crawford, 90% of the fighters are Europeans.
Yes.
What's happened to the American fighters and taken advantage, if you like, of Riyadh season? They don't seem to have done it.
Do you think there's still that stigma that the Americans have, that unless it's in the States, it's not big?
No, but American fighters, forget the fight fans.
No, I mean the fighters itself.
Oh, you think so?
Because I think a lot of the American
but there's been Riyadh season events in America. Times Square was there. I was there for the LA one at the BMO Stadium. Crawford headlined against Madrimov. So American fighters have had the opportunities to be on those cards. I don't know what's going on. Though again, I said that my first best event was in America, the Queen's event. So it's not like they've not been Riyadh season events in America.
That's an
the
interesting
Netflix show. I know it's kind of not Riyadh season per se in this discussion, but it was still a show sort of bumped by Saudi money that was headlined by Canelo versus Crawford in America, the biggest stadium in America, the Raiders Stadium.
That's actually an interesting one because you mentioned the Times Square show, which you had 3 superstars all had the chance to show who they are, and one of them lost, and the other two just meh. That's what it was, and I like Devin. I think he's a great fighter, but you know, he fought a bit scared. T.O. fought really good, but again, it was forgettable. And Ryan, let's not talk about that. So yeah, they really haven't actually, if you think about it.
No.
And I think with Turkey, it's not just the name value. He wants you to be in good fights.
Yeah.
Like, Turkey doesn't want to. I know, I feel bad on Jack Catterall at times when Jack Catterall is desperate to get on a Riyadh show and Turkey is like, this isn't boxing. It's like Turkey wants everything. He wants the boxing, but he wants the entertainment.
Yeah.
And I think that's the style, though, with a lot of these American fighters now. You see, the influence of
safety first.
That's the influence of Floyd Mayweather. The influence of Floyd Mayweather was hit and not get hit. Prolongs your career. You know, your health will be fine when you leave boxing. But Floyd could get away with that. I'm sorry, Shakur, Devin, they can't get Ryan. You can't get away with that style, especially when, you know, we see guys, you know, when Ryan's on it and he's exciting, he's flash. It's like, that's what we want to see. That's why Ryan is a star, on top of the good looks. You're not going to see someone, you know, box their way to a jab fest over 12 rounds, hold. It's not going to do it. And Turkey knows that.
So, okay, then. So, apart from Crawford, who's benefited massively. Of Turkey, like, I dread to think where Crawford would be without Turkey. It's quite scary, isn't it? Because after the Spence fight, it was kind of like, okay, what's Crawford doing? What American fighter, maybe a tough question, not because I'm actually thinking of it as I'm asking it, has benefited the most from Riyadh season?
That is a tough question. I would maybe argue that it's someone like a Jarrell Miller.
How many fights he had Riyadh
Lost
season?
to Dubois, and then he got robbed
against Andy Ruiz.
Yeah. But his stock went up as a result of both those fights. Now, obviously, he's got his own. He was meant to fight Michael Hunter on Canelo Fight Week.
Yeah.
So they would have done something for him there. That's the only fighter I
crazy,
could really think of. I'm genuinely struggling here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, even in defeats, I feel like Deontay Wilder's made some good money.
Yes.
Joseph Parker, Zhili Zhang, you know what I mean? And he looked so bad against Parker. I remember Turkey kind of put something out like, we're not going to use him again. And then obviously brought him out one more time to see, okay, let's see if you can get into some sort of shape. And we saw what happened against Zhili Zhang. But it's very interesting. I don't think the American fighters, I mean, Shakur's had a couple, obviously, Zepeda and Josh Padley.
Has Virgil even had a...
Yeah, Virgil had a fight against
Madrimov.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that we haven't seen more of Virgil because there's an American fighter, but there's a fighter there who, you know, made for Riyadh season.
Yeah.
It is strange, isn't it?
I find it strange. And I guess that's why people say the American boxing thing's fractured for some reason. But I feel like they've missed not their opportunity, because I think there still will be big Riyadh season events, but I think the biggest ones might have been in the past.
Yeah, come and gone. And you missed your chance.
Yeah,
you stuck around when you should have been going there.
Exactly. Let's talk about the Wembley Stadium Riyadh season events, because they've been... The stadium fights over here are untouchable. Untouchable. I've been to the American ones. It's a different... I'm sorry, but we're a different league in terms of noise and just energy from... It's true. Maybe because boxing might be considered the second best sport here. And in America, I don't know if it's a top 10 sport. But the one that still to this day I have nightmares with is that AJ Dubois one.
I can imagine.
Nightmares.
It was it was the whole event. They did the weigh-in Trafalgar Square.
Yeah, incredible.
It was all incredible.
Press conference was, so they had like remember there was a cinema where they kind of did a media thing where they came down in Leicester Square. It was like a cinema in Leicester Square where they came and spoke to us, yeah.
That was where you did the face-off, where you you thought it was going to come together.
Oh my God, I forgot about that face-off. Yeah, where AJ said, I want to smash this chair over your face. And Daniel was stood up and I was like, backwards.
Back step.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was incredible.
That was an incredible build-up. It was a decent undercard as well. You had Josh Warrington with the boots in the ring, or the gloves in the ring.
Yes.
We thought he was retiring.
Is that the one where is that Josh Kelly, Ishmael Davis?
Yes, that was.
And that must have been Hamza Tyler Denny then.
It was Hamza Tyler
Denny.
Same
card, yeah, Hamza Tyler
Same card.
Denny. Yeah.
And the card was really, really good. But yeah, I don't think any of us, I didn't expect it, much less I think the majority of people, what happened in the main event.
Yeah. Is that the biggest upset of Riyadh season?
Oh,
it's a tough question. I'm putting you on the spot here.
No, the biggest upset.
Is that the biggest upset of Riyadh season? I mean, in hindsight, it maybe wasn't a big upset, but at the time, I'm trying to think, would that have gone down as the biggest upset?
It may very well have. Because
maybe,
I think Joshua was on a good run of form.
Yeah.
People were talking about him having a trilogy fight with Usyk and Fury and this, that, and the other, because Usyk Fury wasn't an upset. It could have went either way. That's
Yeah, I'm
I
trying to
think it
think
might
of
have been.
anything. Yeah, I guess even Fury getting away with it against Ngannou was a big upset, even though it went to Fury. That's kind. But in terms of someone getting knocked out as well, so not a
Not
dodgy
point.
point
I was going to say
decision.
Parker, maybe Wilder, because
Yeah.
Wilder they still thought maybe he had something left. Honestly, I was favouring Hrgovic handily over Dubois.
Same.
That
actually.
really did.
You know what?
That shocked
that
me.
might be that same.
That really did get me.
Yeah, same. What's the best fight of Riyadh season? Include the Ring magazine card, so everything. This is all encapsulating everything.
God.
What do you think is the best fight you've seen? In my head, I have 3.
Is it? I think it's unfair to say one. Could we do like top 3?
I'm happy for 3. Yeah.
We kind of need top 3 because it would be a bit unfair.
I've got 3 bankers in my head right now.
Well, I can go back and watch this fight a million times. It's got to be Usyk Fury 1.
Oh,
The
that
drama.
wasn't in my 3.
The drama.
That wasn't in my 3.
Everything.
It wasn't in my 3. But
Really?
okay. No, it didn't make it for some weird reason. Okay, go on.
It's just the drama. The first few rounds are a little bit cagey. Usyk's landed, then Fury takes over. Then Usyk comes back, then he knocks Fury out. And it's like this is incredible.
It was incredible. Oh, okay. So that's in your 3.
That's in my 3.
Okay, I'll name one of my 3.
Okay.
Ben Eubank is definitely in my 3. Like, there's no way. You know, I thought they oversold the hype.
They definitely
So I was thinking, this is never going to live up to what you guys have been selling. The egg slap, the dad. I'm like, okay, it's good, but people are going to be let down because Eubank's just going to be too good and too big. From the first round, these guys were trying to kick the shit out of each other, and it went for 12 rounds. I'm like, this is going to slow down. And I'm not joking. After round 7, I'm like, these guys ain't slowing down. They are literally standing. There was no boxing. That was a fight. So that has to be in my 3. Ben Eubank has to be in my 3. I thought that was insane.
This one might sound a bit random because it wasn't upset, but it was a big heavyweight slugfest with punches being thrown left, right, and centre, and that was Dubois Hrgovic.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm liking how we've got completely different 3s here.
Who doesn't love 2 heavyweight? Because both those guys, literally from the first bell, punch stats through the roof, big shots being landed by both, and you're like, well, who's going to crack first?
Yeah, that was that was ridiculous. My second one has to be Bivol Beterbiev 1. Dude, like...
That one was the better.
Dude, that was the better one.
There's not much
No.
difference
By the way,
between
number 2 was sensational as well. But that was just 2 styles, completely different. 2 Russians, which is rare with 2 completely different styles. And one style trying to force there on the other style. One just brute force in Beterbiev, who can box. And the other one's this silky, clean, younger, fresher looking Bivol. And it just worked. It gelled so well. And let's not forget the trailer for that first one, which is like Game of Thrones-esque. We'll talk about trailers in a minute. All right, go on. That's what's your 2?
My last one.
Have you done 2? Oh, yeah, your last one, yeah.
Easy one. Fight of the year this year, Boatsy Smith.
Finally, we agree on something.
We do agree on something.
Finally,
after all this time.
Finally, we agree on something.
We agree on something.
If anyone has a better number 1, they're lying.
No, that fight had it all. You literally had rounds there where you're like, Boatsy's coming on. Oh, I don't know if Smith lands something. Oh, now Boatsy's hurt. I just like, this can't be happening. And I think it was more the surprise because I was kind of like, Callum Smith, he lost to Beterbiev. He's been out of the ring. How much really is there? You know, how much does he want it? Loads.
I couldn't believe the size of him.
He's massive, isn't he?
Yeah, because, you know, Boatsy looks small. When you see Boatsy face to face, you realize he's not small at all.
That's what I mean. He's
a big guy who has to really boil himself down. And when they got in the ring, one of them looked like a cruiserweight, one of them looked like a light heavyweight. And I was thinking, but Boatsy was and Boatsy's got like a chin, like born in the 70s chin. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like one of those guys.
People used to say, I don't think Boatsy can take, he can flip
Boatsy
and take
can take everything.
He can flip
and he started giving it back and it had its ebbs and flows. And again, it opened a main card, dude. Are you fucking kidding me?
I think that's why that card was so good as well. Not just because of the undercard, but because that like set a precedent.
Set the tone.
Because the fighters were looking at that thinking, we got to follow this.
Yeah,
this is the first card. This is the first fight, which is normally a bit of a, little easy, the guy on the left is going to win and he's going to do this. And it's normally how it starts. That was just total, that was Gary Ward-esque. So they're looking at that thinking, we got to follow this. All right, let's do it.
Yeah, no, incredible. All right, let's wrap this. Trailer. Which has been it's a shame because we don't see them anymore. It's a shame.
They're so good.
So good, the trailers. Like you wait for them, like, okay, the trailer's going to be sensational. What trailer for you has been like,
this is my favorite for, not just because I liked it, but because me and you were both there live when they showed this. Eddie and Frank, the 5v5.
Ooh, forgot about that.
That was my favourite. And Frank really embraced that character. He really went back to his North London roots and that.
Yeah,
he really did.
Because we've all associated Frank as that person. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Bricktop, basically.
Basically,
yeah. Bricktop. Yeah.
He embraced it. He went back to that's Frank Warren from the 1970s North London Islington boy.
Dude, that was such a good you know, I completely forgot about that trailer.
I think the reason why it sticks with me is just not just because I like it, but we were there, me and you, I think you were presenting, I was there as well in Tottenham Court Road for the face-off, for the announcement and all that. And then they surprised us by showing us all the trailer then and there.
Yeah.
Because I think we just expected the announcement and then they showed us on the screen and we were all like, yep, that's done it.
Nah, it was so good. I like the Fury Usyk 2 one.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Everyone's
I think Fury's such a good actor. I think he plays that. I think Fury 100% could go into acting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like he's got that crossover. He kind of just plays the character he is in these trailers. I think everyone that Fury's been in, like even the one with NGANNOU.
Yeah.
I think he's just such a good actor. So yeah, I think anything Fury in, I'm sold. But you're right. I think the 5 versus 5 is just.
It was special, wasn't
it? So good.
It was really good.
So good. And I like the Bivol Beterbiev one because they play on the fact they're both from Russia. There is something about that as well.
Kind-esque, yeah. They have them ready there in the snow, ready to battle.
Yeah.
The problem I have with the trailers is they're so good. You actually kind of want to know, is there a movie like this?
Yeah.
Because it makes you kind of, it looks like we're getting ready to sit down for a movie and you're like, I want to see what happens now.
No, it's been really good. Guys, look, in closing, I guess what we're saying and what we have been trying to say in this is that Riyadh season's been fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
It's been great. And long may it continue. And I understand the argument as a British fight fan about fights going to Saudi Arabia and we're missing the chance to grow the sport here. Just enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Just enjoy it, because maybe that person who spoke to me after 6 months is right. Maybe it is going to come to an end soon and that's it. And then what? What do we do then? We'll moan about missing these WrestleMania cards. And what we'll moan about more is the opportunity to see the best versus the best.
Yes.
And that's what Riyadh season has given us, the best versus the best all the time. Like we now get a WrestleMania type card every 3 months. Whereas before, if we're being brutally honest, we got it once a year.
If even.
And it's given us so much. And we haven't even listed what it's given us, but hopefully in this video, it can remind you of just how fortunate we've been. And let's hope that Turkey stays around supporting boxing for as long as possible, because what it will give is the fighters get paid, which is the most important people in this equation. We get what we want and sport of boxing grows. Peace.